Well, hello everyone and welcome to this review on the best podcast website builders for beginners. Are you tired of wrestling with WordPress when all you want to do is share your podcast to the world? Well, you're not alone. Many podcasters, especially those starting out, find themselves lost in the complexity of platforms not specifically designed for audio content. If the thought of plugins, themes, and coding makes your head spin, you're in the right place. We're about to explore why traditional website builders like WordPress can be more trouble than they're worth for podcasters and introduce you to two fantastic streamlined alternatives built with you in mind. We've got the links to both in the description so you can explore right after this video. So let's dive in and discover how you can finally stop wasting time on website management and get back to what you do best: creating compelling audio. So first, the issue with WordPress. WordPress, while powerful, can be a detour for podcasters due to its learning curve, because it takes time to grasp the platform structure and terminology. Plugin hassle. It requires multiple plugins for podcast features, leading to potential conflict and maintenance. This also takes time. Then you have maintenance upload. WordPress demands regular updates to the core, themes, and plugins for security and function. Then you have the coding barrier. Customizations beyond the basic options often involves coding knowledge. And then you have the setup complexity. It involves finding hosting, installing WordPress, and domain configuration. So, is it all gloom and doom? Well, that's where we have Pod Page and Podcast Page. For podcasters who want to bypass these complexities and launch a professional-looking website quickly and easily, platforms like Pod Page and Podcast Page offer streamlined solutions specifically designed for podcasts. They eliminate the need for coding, extensive setup, and ongoing maintenance. And this allows you to focus on creating great content which you love. So let's take a closer look at the features and how they compare to WordPress. Now, when it comes to setup, WordPress is complex and requires hosting and setup software installation. For the alternatives, we'll be referring to the pods, which is Pod Page and Podcast Page. The setup is simple and it also has options to connect to RSS feed. On ease of use, WordPress has a steep learning curve. It also requires understanding of various components. While both pods options are very easy and they have an intuitive interface designed for podcasters. Then you have the podcast features. Now, WordPress requires plugins for players, episode listings, etc. But with Podcast Page and Pod Page, you have built-in players, automatic episode pages, and SEO. And when it comes to design, Podcast Page and Pod Page have clean templates, easy customization, and without coding. This is a contrast from WordPress. Now, when it comes to maintenance and security, WordPress requires regular updates. The security aspect of things is the user's responsibility and it requires implementing security measures. But with Podcast Page and Pod Page, everything with maintenance and security is handled by the platform. And of course, if you're pulling your hair out about coding, while WordPress might require coding for some advanced customization, Podcast Page and Pod Page don't require any coding at all. And if you're thinking about time to launch, say you've had everything in place already, it literally takes you minutes. And this is a great contrast with WordPress as it could take hours or days. In conclusion, while WordPress offers immense flexibility, its complexity can be a significant barrier for beginners wanting to quickly establish a professional online presence for their podcast. Pod Page and Podcast Page are often streamlined, user-friendly alternatives specifically designed for you, a podcaster, thus eliminating the need for coding and simplifying the entire website creation and management process. Now, with WordPress out of the way, you're possibly wondering what platform to begin with, Pod Page or Podcast Page. To help you make a more informed decision, we have a detailed Pod Page versus Podcast Page comparison video that dives deeper into their features, user interfaces, and pricing. Of course, you could go ahead and check out the link in the description below to Pod Page and Podcast Page so you can get a head start. We hope you found this review helpful, and if you did, let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching.